to Donald Trump. This here's a story of a man. He's a man like any other man. A man who sported a quite peculiar tan. This man had worse hair than any man from here to Iran and anyone between there and the Sea of Japan. In his early life, he lived in the shadow of his pop. He's a role model I wouldn't recommend a lot. A racist slumlord who got rich while his tenants didn't have a pot. He went off to university. It's speculated that his daddy paid his way, but I can't say that's true for sure. But, well, anyway, he became a real estate tycoon, buying every property that was opportune, all the while fed with a silver spoon. Went through 3 wives and had himself 5 kids, had some big old fancy New York digs, and got invited to all the best shindigs. I think that QAnon nutcases ought to realize that some of them parties were in some of the same places where Mr. Jeffrey Epstein was, not that he ever became one of those disgraces. But he ran for president of the States, though he didn't do well in the debates, but he pulled well with conservatives and some moderates. He started doing things that made me think he was insane. Thought it'd be alright to nuke a hurricane? I'm not so sure about that no quid pro quo in Ukraine. He wanted to build a great big wall, which he told us wasn't racist at all. It was just to keep the Mexicans from selling us drugs and raping us all. I couldn't believe the series of gas to commence. Thought you could wash out your lungs with disinfectants. Thought he knew more than our generals about defense. Said COVID was a Chinese hoax that was manufactured. Said he liked war heroes that didn't get captured. And I'm sure the president of the Virgin Islands sure wasn't raptured. He was impeached not once but twice. A man so lucky he ought to play dice. Never think did he ever have to sacrifice. But in 2020 he was voted out fair and square. But it seems he didn't want to give up the chair. But never could admit he'd been on air. He told the world that he'd won the race, though that was very clearly not the case. It was somewhere between a lie and a delusion, but just his bald face. Then rioting and looting did commence over at the Capitol building where they stormed and breached the fence. It's funny that the voice of reason would come from Michael Pence. But determined and angry, the crowd got inside. All in all, 5 people died, all because this crazy orange politician lied. Then up at FBI headquarters, way up at some back room, there was these missing papers that they presume were in Boston, turned up in his storage room. They were top secret, and it seems to me, we might expect a little accountability, and one August day, that's just how it came to be. Down in Sweet Georgia, he was booked. You know, I didn't ever think he'd get hooked. I half expected his crimes to be overlooked. But he's been ranting ever since about election fraud evidence, but now it's a judge he's going to have to convince. Now look here, I don't mean to be this way, bringing all this stuff up and making people feel ashamed, but what else is a songwriter supposed to say? I don't mean to upset the apple cart, but I gotta play what's in my heart. I'm not gonna compromise my art. Should I just keep my big old mouth canned and join up with some old jug band? Well, instead, my friends, I think I need to take pen in hand. 'Cause I gotta do what I feel is best. On my laurels I don't wanna rest. I just hope these words were well expressed. And if you think I'm wrong and that I shouldn't be singing this here song, well, I guess we just ain't gonna get along. And I'm not saying I'm a perfect man, but there's one thing I can say for sure, my friend. Donald Trump is not the world's greatest politician.